and welcome back to the Global Gaming Network Power Rankings. Today we're going to talk Halo Infinite, a game near and dear to my heart. We've been playing for what, 20 years, Nick?
If not more.
So joined with me today is, of course, Mr. Thug Nasty. He's actually a professional Halo coach himself, so I trust that he knows a thing or two. Are you excited?
I am so excited. I'm glad that HCS is back in Charlotte. I was out of the coaching game. HCS came to Charlotte a couple years ago. It got me back into the game, and here we are, and couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, the last time there was an event here in Charlotte, I didn't live here yet, but now that I live here, it's awesome to have it right here in my hometown. Very fun that they'll be here this weekend, so make sure you guys don't miss that. But we got some teams to talk about. Who are the #1 teams to look out for in Charlotte? Let's go ahead and kick off our list, and it's actually Nick's team, Envy. So Envy come in with a score of 78. You guys have been looking stellar as of late. I expect a little bit more from you guys at the LA LAN, of course, but you guys lost 2 close games to Optic and FaZe. You also won a Game 7 against SSG. So how are you feeling about your chances going into Charlotte? Is the team vibing? How are you guys feeling?
We feel great. Like I said, I know it was a disappointing finish at LA, but I think massive signs of improvement against FaZe and Optic specifically, 2 teams that blew us out at Salt Lake City, as you could see on your screen here. Yeah, we did take a few maps off of each, but definitely a massive improvement from the last time that we played both of those teams on LAN, and couldn't be more excited about going into it. And that's why I want to preface, and I'm looking at you, America, I do not agree with these rankings, okay? I personally still see us as the #3 team in the game, behind our #1 and #2, which we'll get to later, but being so close, we're right there. The more reps that we get, the more quality of experience that we get, we're right there. We're ready to take one down.
Yeah, and just to prevent any biased ratings, I was the one that did most of the expert ratings here. Just so we're clear on that, we also have a formula that includes all of the data from placements at LANs this year, which, by the way, you guys have peaked at top 6 so far, but you've had really close calls with top 3. So curious to see how things play out in Charlotte with you guys. You know I'm always rooting for you.
Yeah, I expect another Game 5 with TSM to bring us either forward or backwards yet again.
Happens every single event.
Every event. It's clockwork.
All right, well, enough about Nick and his team. Let's get into #4 on the list. That is going to be Space Station Gaming. So this team is for sure the most up and down of any team, but their LAN ability is definitely undeniable. I mean, the way that I see it, if Eco and Stellar are popping off, this team is a lock for top 4. If they're not, which they haven't been playing great this year, let's be real, I don't think that they have a chance to get top 4. It's very weird, but on LAN, they're very consistent. So how do you see this team? Do you think they're gonna step up when it comes to Charlotte?
No, I really think they are. I think we even slept on them a little bit last time we did these power rankings for Salt Lake City. We're like, they're not performing well on LAN. They can't be ranked that high. And sure enough, they go to LAN, they show out yet again. Even at the Shopify LAN just a few weeks ago, they performed well again, got top 4 as we got top 6. So again, every time they find a way to make it work. And I hate to use online as an excuse, but when you have 2 people living on the West Coast and it's such a ping reliant game, it makes sense why they can't perform well online. And every time they go to LAN, they just show up. They have proven winners, they've won in the past, and they will continue to do so going forward.
Have to agree. And honestly, Eco and Stellar, like I was just saying, they haven't been playing great this year. They played phenomenal at the LAN. So to see them step up is huge. A lot of question marks have been around Eco. I mean, this is the oldest guy in the league. He's in 31 now, I want to say.
Yeah.
So there's been question marks like, should he just retire? But I don't think he's done yet. I think maybe,
No.
Yeah, he's still incredible. He's been a little inconsistent recently, but when it matters, he'll show up.
He's got a win in the first 3 years of Halo Infinite, and he'll find a way to get one in year 4 as well.
There it is. Okay, well, let's go ahead and move into #3 on the list. That's going to be FaZe Clan. And in my opinion, this team is very clearly in 3rd. I know that you have other feelings since you're a part of Envy, but this team kind of beats everyone below them. I know you guys have upset them a time or two, but historically they're very consistent at beating all the teams below them, but they can't really beat the 2 teams above them. So that's why I call them solidly in 3rd. Do we think they have the potential to finally upset the top 2? I mean, this team is stacked. What do they have to do differently?
I'm not necessarily sure what they have to do differently. It's kind of weird to think of Slow being a FaZe being a slow and methodical team, but they are, and they caught us off guard quite a few times in some recent tournaments where I believe it's actually on this Street Slayer, or no, that's not us, but there was a Street Slayer where they were hiding back Cafe and we just didn't clear the corner, and it was a pivotal moment in the match, and they took the momentum on from there and won. And then we go back to the Shopify land, Game 7, Street Slayer again, and it comes down to another 48-49, and it's just like the amount of ice, as the kids like to say these days. FaZe has got it with championship level talent from top to bottom on that roster, and I don't know what they can do though to improve to get up to that next level. That's the only thing that's holding me back with this team.
Yeah, I got to shout out a few individuals. I mean, Lucid is having one of the best years he's had in a while. I think now reunited with Trippy, he's invigorated. Trippy has been playing absolutely insane. I think he's actually been FaZe's most valuable player as of late. But also Penguin. I mean, this guy just doesn't scam. Like, this guy is always in the right place at the right time. There's a reason he's made Championship Sunday every single Halo Infinite LAN that has ever happened, which is a stat nobody else can say. I mean, even the top dogs are sometimes finishing top 6 or having off events. Penguin has got top 3 every single LAN. So I don't know if they're gonna stop doing that anytime soon. But
no, it doesn't look like this is going to be the event either. And unless we're the ones that put them out early, then it looks like they're making another Championship Sunday for sure.
Okay, well, love us some FaZe Clan. We're excited to see them. It is the FaZe Clan tournament here in Charlotte, so they're going to be repping for the home crew.
I feel like we're hosting the event.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not even FaZe. It has nothing to do with them. It's the Eli and Thug Nasty show.
There it is. Well, if you guys are local here, make sure you guys don't miss it. But let's get into number 2 on the list. This one might be a little controversial to some people, but I think it's pretty clear in this case. It's got to be Optic. I mean, this team has been up and down, obviously, the last couple months. They won the first 2 LANs of the year. They've now finished second to Shopify at a couple LANs in a row. Just this past weekend, they lost in Winners Round 2 to Judgment Day, which...
I could tell you one person on that roster. That's
yeah,
not a good thing.
It's just weird, but we know this team is obviously still the same exact team that has won multiple LANs this year. When they put it all together and they're all vibing, they are damn near unstoppable. Do you think that they're kind of in a rough patch? Are we concerned about their top 2 finish here, or do you think they're still a lock for top 2?
I think they're still a lock for top 2, but it's what gets them back on track to be winning back-to-back LANs as they did at the beginning of the year. And when you were prefacing that question, I was going to say they have arguably the best player. I don't even think there's an argument about it anymore. I think Legend is the best player in the game right now, hands down. And if anybody says otherwise, they're just faded. But they need to do something to get back on track. And I don't know if they need more scrims or more time off or whatever needs to change in that camp. I know Lunchbox has them under control. They are still the best OBJ efficient team on the planet right now, but there's just something missing. I don't know if it's lack of reps or online or burnout or whatever the case may be. They either need to put more time into the game or less time into the game to get right back on top. They're right there. They're still a great team.
Yeah, and you mentioned Legend as being like the standout player. I feel like he's been one that's been struggling recently. We're not seeing him being the unkillable demon that he was at the beginning of the year. Like, he's losing pips, which is kind of weird to see from Legend. We'll see if he can kind of get back into form here in Charlotte, but I have to agree with the rest of your analysis. But it's time to stop beating around the bush. Let's go ahead and get into number 1 on the list. If you've been watching Halo and paying attention, this should not come as a surprise to you, but it's going to be Shopify Rebellion. This team has always had the potential, even from their original formation in the off season. We had really high hopes for this team. It didn't happen until recently that they really put it all together, but I feel like they seem to have found a form, like they figured something out, and they're individually extremely consistent right now. Like, their problems in the past, I thought, were like Last Shot and Frosty randomly having some off series, but they haven't really had any off series recently. Do you think they're going to take another one down here in Charlotte?
After scrimming them yesterday and getting B2A'd, they look great as ever, Eli. And I wrote down on my little notes here is, even though I eat, sleep, and breathe Halo, I still had to take a few notes. I wrote down that they have no weaknesses, but if I had to nitpick, it's sometimes they just slay a little too much. And if you're dead, you're not going to win the game anyway. But that's why I feel that Optic has this very slight edge over them, is in OBJ efficiency. Shopify is always on the flank. You always know who's moving. You always know Royalty who's going to be behind you. And they are the master of the split spawns. And that is what you need to do in this game to win every single map. And they're doing it. And it's amazing to watch. And I couldn't be more excited for the guys on that roster. But the biggest thing for them is, I believe, now that they have some grand finals experience for Last Shot and Cycle, I think they have their hands on the reins, and they're not going to give it up anytime soon.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of have to agree with you. You said in the Optic breakdown you thought that Legend was the best player, and there's not an argument. I would say that Cycle is low-key making a good case to me. From the eye test, Cycle has been underappreciated this year. So I just like to shout him out. This is one of the youngest players we have. I think he's younger than Last Shot as well. And he's just been incredible. I mean, he cycles around the map for his namesake and just is always behind people at the right time, isn't missing shots, clutches up whenever is necessary, never really has an off game. So I think that if he's continuing to do cycle things, this team's going to win another tournament.
Yeah, him and Last Shot, both great storylines, both coming up from the AM scene through the open bracket, making some lower level teams as well, and fighting through the mud just to get where they are. Couldn't be more excited for them.
Okay, and we've got one more team to talk about, and it's going to be our honorable mention, but they did actually come in 6th on our list, and that is going to be Luminon Gaming. So this team used to be known as Nemesis. Nemesis as an org has exited Halo, but they were picked up by Luminon. It's the #1 EU team featuring mouse and keyboard phenom on your screen here, Wootum. This team is like, it feels like they have always had the ability to get top 4. They've upset Optic a few times. They've had huge series, but they just haven't been able to get over that hump for top 4. Do you think that this tournament could be different?
I'm actually not so sure, unfortunately. I've got one little bone to pick, and then I'll get into a little bit some more analysis here. Why did you throw to get into a different pool? There's got to be competitive integrity. FaZe did it last event going into SLC. Nemesis, now Luminon Gaming, has done it going into Charlotte, and it just doesn't sit right with me. It's like, you gotta play. Quit finessing the system. It doesn't sit right with me. However, I love every single one of the guys over there. Shout out Harry, aka Wonder Boy. But I don't know if this is going to be the event for them because of the issues that European Halo suffers. They do not get quality reps as if they were in America playing against some of the top teams. And that's what I credit Envy's success to this entire year, is the amount of quality reps against great teams has helped us improve tremendously. And they're just not getting it over there. Their second place team has went through 3 or 4 roster changes this year, and it's just a shell of them, their former self, and they haven't been able to come over here in boot camp. I'm not sure if this is gonna be the one for them.
Yeah, I guess in their defense, to explain kind of the logic behind their move, like, the way the pool structure and seeding works, they were hard locked to play against either Optic or Shopify every event so far in pools, and they were actually able to upset Optic in a couple of those pool situations. But because they threw and
they didn't even play.
Yeah, they volunteered to exit the tournament. They're now the 2nd place EU team, which puts them in Pool C, where they'll face off against FaZe in round 1. So, which is arguably like an easier team to beat, but in the head-to-head matchup, they've actually been blown out the water by FaZe multiple times. I think FaZe has their number, so it is
even
kind of
at Salt Lake City.
Yeah, it is kind of a head scratcher, right? Like, you felt like you were doing better against Optic. Why'd you leave the Optic pool? So,
well, and if you're in Pool B, you get 2 worse teams below you as well.
Right. Yeah.
So it's very confusing.
Yeah, the pool of death definitely going to be Pool C at this event. We'll have to see how things shake out, but. This has been another episode of Power Rankings. Always love talking Halo, as you guys can probably tell. After Charlotte, there's 3 weeks until Worlds, so we will do another Halo Power Rankings episode before that. Make sure you guys are stay tuned in for that. And any of the other episodes that are coming out here on the Global Gaming Network, we got tons of different content. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and also hype. That's the thing on mobile now. Hype the video too. Yeah. Do it all. Help us out here with the algorithm, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.